Hello and welcome, this is GuitarDesolace and today I'm going to be showing you something a little bit different but still guitar related, so don't worry. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so what we've got here is an Epiphone Special 2, not an awfully expensive guitar, and actually it's the first guitar that I've ever owned. Now usually what comes to mind when you see something like this happen to a really cheap guitar, it's gonna be something along the lines, well, just buy a new one, right? But because I'm kinda short on money and I was never a guy who would just throw this kind of stuff away without even trying to do anything about it, well, today I'm gonna show you how to get this thing back playing nice with almost no money, no professional tools, no professional skills whatsoever, and in almost no time. So stay tuned. The main thing you're gonna need for this repair is epoxy glue. It comes in different packagings, but mostly it comes as two separate tubes. Sometimes it's like this, the two tubes with a syringe-like shape. You can pick it up at any hardware store for around $5. So not an expensive thing. Also, just like with anything else today, you can pick it up online. Now, if you're doing this to your guitar, please do me a favor and pick up an actual epoxy glue. I've used it on Guitar Next before and it just works. If you were to give your guitar to a guitar shop for them to put it back together, they would probably also use something epoxy based, maybe something a little bit more professional, but still the same base. So yeah, make sure you're using an actual epoxy glue. Do not use super glue or any other cyanoacrylates, because it's just not gonna work, well, at least not for a long time, and you're probably gonna do more damage. You're also gonna need some sandpaper. You're not gonna need much. This one came with the glue that I bought, and you're not gonna need much more. This is just gonna be enough for the job. My guitar is pretty dusty because it's been laying around like this for a couple of months now. So the first thing I'm gonna need to do is give it a nice cleanup. But since I'm not very comfortable blowing this whole dust off here in this room, I am gonna take my B camera, which is actually my cell phone. And there you go. And I'm taking you guys with me elsewhere. So here we are. As you can see, the guitar is pretty dusty. And yeah, here I'm gonna be able to give it a nice cleanup. This is what I'm gonna use. It's my old sock, and these are great. These are really great for cleaning up the guitar. It's a nice soft cloth that won't damage the body of your guitar. So yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, so now that we have most of the guitar cleaned up, I can head back there. Okay, so now that we've got the thick layer of dust out of here, to finish the cleaning, I'm gonna apply lemon oil onto the fretboard, let it stay for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna wipe it off. Shake well before applying. On the rest of the guitar's body, I'm going to apply polish and rub it in really well. Now you may be wondering, why do I still have the strings on here, the old strings, especially that they are all tangled up in here. Now the reason is the strings and their tension helps to keep the headstock in place. It will help to keep the headstock in place later on when we set the glue. Without the strings, the headstock could just fall off quite easily. So now I'm going to lower the tension on the strings so that the headstock just really naturally sits on the neck here. Okay, so now I have the strings set up the way I need them. Actually, they are very loose. The only tension that is there helps to keep the headstock lie naturally on the neck the way that it should be, as you can see. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to take this all apart again. And then I'm gonna take my piece of sandpaper and I'm gonna use it on all of the exposed wood that I see here, both on the neck part and on the headstock part. Be sure to take your time while you're at this step. It's very important because it enables the glue to stick firmly to both of the surfaces of the headstock and of the neck. If you follow this video with your guitar and then it doesn't hold too good, it just falls apart, then this is probably the step that you're doing wrong. So try again, and this time really take your time doing this part. Alright, so now finally we're at the last step of this whole process. Possibly it's the shortest one, but trust me, it will pay off if you took your time with the previous steps. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a piece of cardboard like this one and I'm gonna squeeze out the epoxy glue onto it. Now if you have two separate tubes with the two substances, be sure to squeeze out the exact same amount of both of the substances, because otherwise you may end up with a very shitty glue that just never dries off, and you don't want that. So make sure you have the exact same amount. And as you can see now, I am mixing the two substances together, and you also want to make sure that you do it well and that they are fully, completely mixed together. You don't want to take too much time with this though, because some of these glues start to dry off after 5 minutes. So yeah, you want to do it well, but you kind of want to do it quickly also. Alright, so now as you can see, I've got the glue mixed up nicely. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to apply the glue on the neck side here, and you basically just want to take a little bit of it and apply it onto the raw wood that you see here. You want a fair amount here, but not too much, because afterwards you're gonna put the headstock of the guitar here, so you don't want too much of the glue squeezing out and just, you know, dripping here onto your guitar's neck. Alright, so now that I've got this side done, I am also going to apply a small amount of glue on the headstock side, but you really don't want a lot in here. You just want it to be a little smudge, to say. So you just want to cover the raw wood with the glue here, as if you would do with a lacquer or a paint. So yeah, not too much. Alright, so now that I've got the glue on both sides of the guitar, as you can see I used up much less than I made, so you don't really need that much. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to put the headstock in its place on the neck really gently. I'm gonna make sure that it is in the correct position at a correct angle. This is really important because once the glue dries off, it will stay the way it is. And now, as you can see, you can't really avoid that. Some of the glue is squeezing out here, so I'm just gonna gently take it off of here. I've made sure the headstock is in a correct position at the correct angle. I am now taking the nut and sliding it in also very gently. And I'm gonna put it in its place. Make sure that it's in a good position. So now that I've got it all set up, I made sure that the headstock is at a perfectly correct angle, the nut is in its place. This is basically it, and now I would leave this whole thing for a day, maybe 2 days. Even if the glue says it dries off in 5 minutes, you want to really make sure before doing anything else, before applying the tension on the strings, you want to make sure it is completely dry. So yeah, leave it for 1 day or 2 days. I know it's hard, you want to play your guitar, but you really want to make sure that it's all solid and it's just not gonna break up again. So yeah, 1 or 2 days, let it dry overnight, and then you can restring your guitar and do anything else that you always do when you restring. Also, as I have mentioned before, you cannot really avoid tiny pieces of the glue just dripping out of here, so you know, it doesn't look nice. So if you want to get rid of that, you're gonna, after the glue dries off, you may want to use a nail polish remover. Actually, it works wonders here, but you have to be using it with caution, because it may also damage the finish of your guitar's body. So you want to be sure that you're just using it on the little bits of the glue that are dripping out, and not just rubbing it all over the guitar's finish. Another thing, if you accidentally manage to get some of the glue onto your fingers, then also you want to use the nail polish remover. It really works wonders. It just dissolves the glue chemically. Now don't be fooled, even though the glue can be easily dissolved chemically, physically it's really strong, and I can guarantee you that it can withstand the tension of the strings. So yeah, if you followed this process with your guitar and found that it's not really that solid and the pieces maybe came apart when you applied the pressure on the strings, the tension, then yeah, it's still probably not the glue. You may just wanna do the whole thing again and maybe take more time probably on the sanding part, because again, this is a really important part of the process, and the glue is really strong and can withstand the tension of the strings. Yeah guys, we made it. This is my guitar, and this is what it's gonna look like for the next 7 days. I am actually going to leave it for a full week. I'm not even gonna touch it, maybe take a quick look every once in a while, but not too often. I just want to be extra sure before I do anything with it, and so after a full week time, I'm gonna be able to take the old strings off, put on new strings, adjust crossroad and all that stuff. I just want to be extra sure that the glue is really dry and that I can start working on it so that I don't have to do this all again. So if you're wondering what's this gonna sound like and whether it stays in tune, whether it's still usable, now after I've put it back together and replaced the strings and everything, then be sure to subscribe and not miss the upcoming videos. I'm surely gonna be using it in some of them. If this guide helped you in any way, maybe so that you could start playing your guitar again, then I am super happy about it. You may want to drop a like there so that I know about it. If you have any questions, either if it's regarding this whole process or basically any questions to me, you can drop them in the comments section below. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching and rock on and take care.